All right, you know what today is. Today is August 8th. This is John from Book It Picks. And I'm about to break down the lines that I have from my betting model. There's 7 MLB games today. I'm not going to be charging, not going to be talking for 2 minutes about how you can buy my picks like a lot of other YouTube channels out there. Not going to say any names, but let's get into it. So in game 1, we got the Blue Jays versus the Orioles. The Blue Jays are starting UC Kikuchi, while the Orioles are starting Jordan Lyles. Hitting wise, I got the Blue Jays having the advantage in my model, which uses a bunch of stats like weighted runs created plus and ISO and a bunch of others. But this is against right-handed pitchers. And the Orioles versus left-handed, about a 102. So we give the Blue Jays the advantage there. When it comes to pitching, I have UC at a 5.15 projected ERA. And I have Jordan Lyles at a 3.9. So the Orioles got the starting, like for starting pitching, they have the advantage for today. When it comes to relieving, the Blue Jays have slightly better relief pitching. I have them going for about 3.5 innings, which is actually the same as UC. I don't see him going super deep into the game, whereas Jordan Lyles, I have him going about 5.2 innings pitched. Less innings pitched for the Orioles because of that. And when it comes to setups and closers, the Orioles have better projected ERA, so they have the advantage there. So overall, I would say knowing the line is minus or plus 130 for the Orioles, minus 150 for the Blue Jays, I actually have the Orioles at plus 107 with all those factors included. So that gives me an 11% value in my betting model. So I'm going to make this bet alongside the run line. I have 30% value, which the regular line's minus 125. I have minus 261. And the last bet I would make, but this is actually just going to be, it's not one I'm actually going to make because it's only 1% value. But just first innings, you know, you bet over under. The actual line's minus 125 on the over. I have minus 127 in my betting model, so that's just going to be a push. In game 2, we got the Reds versus the Mets. Now, the Reds are starting Justin Dunn, who hasn't had a start since 2021, which it ain't good. I'll say that. I think he has like let me see, where is it at? I think like a 4.74 FIP from last season, which respectable. It's all right. Season before 6.54. It's just not a great sign. When you add in the fact that the Mets have the hitting advantage versus righties, they smoke the ball compared to lefties. They're just under average. Reds, although they hit righties better because Chris Bassett is a righty, they're going against a really good pitcher today too, and they don't really hit righties that spectacularly. Compared to lefties, they hit better, but yeah, Justin Dunn I projected at a 4.94, going 4.8 innings. Chris Bassett, 2.94 projected ERA with 6.5 innings pitched. And the Mets have the relief pitching advantage and the setups and closers by a pretty decent margin. Like this is a very heavy line right here. The actual sportsbooks line's minus 300 on the Mets. I have minus 322. So there's 2% value to bet on it, but usually anything under 10%, I don't usually bet because I found, if I show real quick, based on my bets and my model, anything that's above 10%, so I would say about 29%. I've done really well with those bets in the season. collectively in terms of units. So that's like 13, 15, 21 units about plus. But the 1 to 9% value range, it's kind of like a push throughout all the units. I bet like negative about 2% ROI there for both of them. So those particularly, I don't bet anymore. I bet those for a while, but yeah, minus 300 is a big number too, so I'm leaving go on that one. And on the run line, negative value for both of those. Uh, yeah, and the over under, I have, well, the line is 8.5. I have 4% value on the under because my projection's 8.16 right here. So, I mean, feel free. I don't really bet over unders anymore. Those bets are actually, I found, really hard to beat long term. But if you love betting over unders, I do have under right there. That just won't be a bet for me. I'm not gonna place that one. And yeah, I'm not no first inning there. So go next one. In game 3, we got the Nationals versus the Cubs. The Nationals have a 98 hitter rating for, while the Cubs have a 118. So the Cubs have the hitting advantage based on who they're going against. Both teams are going against right-handed pitchers. So the Nationals are going against Keegan Thompson, while the Cubs are going against Anibal Sanchez. And Anibal this season hasn't been good at all. Has a 7.02 ERA, which, yes, is not good, not good. But he on the road, he's actually a lot better, which is, it's subjective. Because it's still 5.22. Or it's relative for how good he is, I guess you should say. But yeah, at home he's a lot worse. And throughout the whole season, between his full season and last 30 days, he's about the same type of pitcher. So there's no improvement he's really made. While we have Keegan Thompson, who I've projected at about a 4 ERA, going 5.3 innings pitched. He's actually a lot much better pitcher at home, which you could say with most pitchers is usually the case, unless they pitch in like Coors or something. But his last 30 days, though, he hasn't been pitching too well with the 1.75 WHIP, which is something that is a slight, like, a concern right there, I would say, a little bit. Though at home he's been great, so it's kind of two things are like clashing right there. But against the Nationals, I think he pitches pretty well. So I've projected at that 4 ERA. And when it comes to relief pitching and closing, I got the Nationals having the advantage. The stars right here, 4 compared to a 5.54 for the Cubs. And the Nationals, it's pretty close with setup and closing. Nothing too drastic of a difference, but yeah, they do have the advantages there. So when you put all that together, the Cubs actually, I have them at minus 169, where the sports books have them at minus 169 or 189. Now for the Nationals, plus 169 is my line, and the sports books have plus 160, so there's no value to bet on the money lines. But when it comes to the run lines now, the Cubs minus 1.5, I have 3% value, so it's not something like I would bet. I usually would go with something 10% or more. So yeah, I laid off that one. But I do like the over in this game. The line's at 7.5, and I have 9.22. So there's a 13% value to bet on the over here. So I have 5.18 runs for the Cubs, 4.04 for the Nationals, and that's how you get the total runs. it does take into effect different like park factors and stuff like that, weather included. So yeah, I usually don't have a big drastic difference with the over under, so I do like that bet a lot. Now, when it comes to the first five, though I didn't find value in the money line straight up full game, I have the Cubs at minus 311, where the sportsbooks have minus 205. So 13% value there to bet on the Cubs money line, first five. And then the first inning bet, it was plus 100 on BetMGM, and I got it. Well, my line was minus 167, so I bet the over here, 25% value. So those are the bets I'm going with. First inning over, first five Cubs money line, and over 7.5 runs. In game four, we got the Pirates versus the Diamondbacks. When it comes to hitting, they're pretty evenly matched up. For the Pirates, I got a 111 hitter rating versus right-handed pitching, and the Diamondbacks 108 versus right-handed pitching. The Pirates are starting Tyler Beede, who is usually a relief pitcher, so it'll be interesting to see how his start goes, but I have him projected at 3.6 ERA. And it's interesting because I was just seeing the last 30 days, so he's only 61% of the batters have been stranded on base, when the full season he's at 75%. Hasn't really affected his ERA at all, though, projected wise. Whip is a little higher, 1.4. So I don't know too much what to make with Tyler Beede, but that's what I have him projected for. I have him going about 4 innings. Zach Gallen, on the other hand, I have a 3 projected ERA, and and going 5.8 innings pitched. When it comes to relief pitching, I got the Diamondbacks. They have the advantage, and setups and closers slightly have the advantage for the Pirates, so that's kind of like a push. Putting all of that together, with the Pirates' solid hitting, if you just get a little bit out of Tyler Beede, and a strong finish, I actually have them at plus 158, compared to sportsbooks have 205. So on this, I'm actually going to be betting half of a unit here. Usually if it's this high, I'd bet a full unit or like 1.25 units, but I don't know, with it being a starting pitcher that's usually a reliever, I'm not going to go as heavy on that bet. When it comes to the over-under, I have 7.48 runs, and the line's 8, so there's not too much value. I mean, there's 4%, not something like I'm gonna bet, but if you want to and you like the under as well, from what you see, you can go with that. But when it comes to the first 5, there's 10% value on the Pirates, 171 compared to 198 for the Pirates. So, and I have about 3.5 runs scored in the first 5, 2 for the Diamondbacks, 1.58 on average for the Pirates. So yeah, it's probably I'll go like 0.25 units on this as well. Same reason for the money lines, or betting on the money line Pirates. And didn't really find too much value in the first inning, minus 115 to, well, that was the line. I had minus 121, so 2% value. It's nothing I'm going to bet. So my 2 bets will be first 5 and money line, and just regular money line for the Pirates. In the 5th game, we got the Giants versus the Padres. With the projected lineups that the Giants have, I have a 105 hitter rating for them versus left-handed pitching because they're going up against Blake Snell, who has a 3.68 projected ERA, and I have him going a 5.2 innings pitched. And the Padres have a 122 hitter rating versus left-handed pitchers, and they're going up against Alex Wood, who has a 4.26 ERA or projected, and 5 innings expected to be pitched. So, yeah, Blake Snell has the starting pitching advantage, but it's not like drastic or anything. But the Padres definitely have the hitting advantage. When it comes to relief pitching too, it's not too drastic on either side, but the Padres have the relief pitching advantage while the Giants have the setup and closing advantage. And when you put that all together, the sportsbooks got the Giants at plus 160. I have them at plus 153. So there's 3% value to bet on them. But like if it's, I've said, like anything under 10%, I don't bet those unless I feel strong about the play. Just looking at it, maybe something my model is not picking up on in a certain instance. But yeah, when it comes to the run line, 0% value, minus 133, minus 134, no value there. Over under 1%, that's a no bet as well. I have projected 7.54 runs. So 4 for the Padres, 3.39 for the Giants. So yeah, not too much right there. First 5, same thing. These lines are pretty good for this game, pretty efficient. And the first inning, the sports books have minus 106 on the over. I have the exact same line on the under. They have minus 130. I have 106 plus 106. So this is actually, I think, the first game that I don't have an official pick other than if you want to pick the Giants, and they are a 3% value, you could go there, but no official picks on this one. In the 6th game, we got the Angels versus the Athletics. Both teams have a 98 hitter rating versus left-handed pitching. So there's no advantage there for either team with the projected lineups. But when it comes to pitching, Jose Suarez is going to be on the mound for the Angels, and he has a 4.55 projected ERA. I have him going 4.5 innings pitched and giving up about 2.45 runs if he pitched 5 innings, but 2.25 runs given how long he'll probably start. Cole Irving, I have 2.79 projected ERA and 6.2 innings pitched. So Cole, I mean, everybody knows Cole's a solid pitcher, and he pitches even better at home. I have him projected at home for 1.5 ERA. His whip, even in the last 30 days, has gone down a lot. 0.81 whip. Left on base, I would say a little unlucky there, 69%, but it's nice that his ERA has stood low, even so. But yeah, so the Athletics have the starting pitching advantage. When it comes to relief pitching, I give that to the Angels. 3.46 ERA compared to 4.23. Have them going about 2.5 innings, while I have the relief for the Athletics just under an inning. And sometimes I have that for an elite, like really good pitcher like Cole, and he goes deep into a game, like they won't need their relievers as much. So I'm expecting maybe 1 inning pitched, probably maybe 2 at max, but when I just say relief pitching, there's setup and closers combined in the last one. So, yeah, I have them collectively usually always going 2 innings pitched. So when you look at that though, the Athletics also have the advantage there. So putting all of that together, the sportsbook's money line for the Athletics is -124, but I have them at -172. And through looking at all the games so far, this does look like probably one of my favorite bets of the day. Just it being at -124. I think Cole's gonna pitch really well, and yeah, about -170 seems about right. I would have guessed maybe 160 had I not looked at my model. Just looking at stats I had. But yeah, that's for the money line. Then for the run line, -1.5. That's +170. I have it at about even money, so that's 36% value. Now there, I'll probably only bet half of a unit just because when the value is very high like that, sometimes when my line differs a lot more than the sports books, it's not always 100% accurate, or it's overvaluing how well a player does. So I could be overvaluing Cole Irvin just a little bit in my model based on looking at this, but I still like the bet. So that's why I'm going with 0.5 units on this. And over under 7, I think 5% value there. What is it, about 6.63 runs? Something I'm going to leave alone. Has to be over 10% for me. And first 5 innings bet, I have -275, and the line's at -130. So that's 30% value there. I'll probably go another 0.5 units. And the last pick, first inning over under. For the under, the sports book has -139. I have -106. And on the over, I have, or they have +104, and I have +106. So no value on those. So the bets are going to be first 5 on the Athletics, money line Athletics, and the run line Athletics. For the last game of the day, we got the Yankees versus the Mariners. The Yankees definitely have the hitting advantage versus right-handed pitching. Both are going against righties, Italian, Jameson, and Logan Gilbert. In terms of pitching, though, the Mariners definitely have the advantage. Logan Gilbert I have projected at 2.79 ERA. Jameson 4.21. The Mariners have the advantage in relief pitching and setup and close pitching. So with that, I see right here the Mariners they're +108 for the game, so they're actually the underdog. But I have in my model the Mariners is the favorite at -138. So that's going to be a bet for me. And anything in the 20s this season, from 10 to 29%, I've done very well with those bets throughout the season of betting. So I feel good about this one. Of course, anything can happen with the Yankees. They can score 15 runs, in a couple innings. I wouldn't be surprised, but unlikely. But I do like the value of the Mariners right here. Money line. Over under 7.5. What do I have? I have 6.93. Yeah, I didn't bet this. Not much value at all. First 5 bet, I have value -208 on the Mariners. So it's 19%. I'll probably go with a 0.5 unit bet there. And first inning, I practically have the exact same line as the sports book, so that's going to be a pass right there. So the final bets are going to be for this game the Mariners money line and first 5 Mariners.